So this is a message for Hispanic people or Latina people, not just the white presenting Latinos, all of them, including the more Afro Latinos, when it comes to this whole deportation thing and solidarity with the Black community. You guys have no right to be angry at Black people who choose not to want to support or have solidarity with you. And the only reason why I say this is because the amount and level of disrespect that we Black Americans have suffered from the Hispanic community when we tried to have solidarity in the past is astronomical. And you guys know about that disrespect, because try being a Latina woman with your whole family and bring home a Black man as your boyfriend and tell them that you want to marry him. And how would your family respond to that? Because I know a lot of you, if you brought home a Black person, like a Black American, your family is not having that. So how could we possibly have solidarity when the whole family is like, you bring home a Black person and it's just like their head starts spinning and they have an issue with that? On top of that, and also what adds insult to injury is basically saying when Hispanic people deny racism, like the fact that they're racist and the fact that they're colorist. The first time that it hit me about the Hispanic racism back in your own countries is when Black Panther, the second Black Panther, came out, and the guy who played Namor, I forgot his name, the guy who played Namor talked about how you guys treat darker skinned people and indigenous people in your own countries, and that mentality, you guys bring it here into this country, especially after we Black people have went through a lot of strides in this country to get certain things put in place for civil rights. And instead of leaving that at the door in those countries, you guys bring those mindsets with you. And then on top of that, literally here on TikTok, there was a girl who had like 1 million views, and I still have the video and I can pull it, where she was talking about, she was only 20, and she was I could tell she was having a hard time articulating herself because she was crying and emotional. And she was talking about how she experienced racism and discrimination from her Hispanic community. And she said she was an Afro Latina, and how she couldn't get a job and couldn't get hired. And a lot of these jobs are expecting you to speak Spanish. And so when I came behind her and I pointed out, yes, there are some things in the Hispanic community, what she's saying is true. It's just like the responses that I was getting from Hispanic people is just like the gaslighting that I would get from white people who try to deny racism. It's basically they were trying to say, oh, well, she wasn't qualified for the job. She wasn't. The same shit white people say. So if you do not have, none of you guys have a right to be mad at any Black person for not wanting to stand behind y'all in solidarity. Because from me, I used to work a job when I was younger in a restaurant, and the Hispanic dudes, a whole bunch of Hispanic dudes back there, and they was not American, and they would just say the craziest stuff, and I had to check them. And after I checked them, they ain't saying nothing to me after that. Even with my best friend, she worked at a restaurant, whole bunch of Hispanic dudes working in the back, calling her the hard ER and the B word, and she checked them, and they ain't say nothing to her after that. They ain't say nothing to her after that. So a lot of us Black Americans have very negative experience with you Hispanic people, who you guys are very racist. You have disrespected us. And so, yeah, we're aware of the disrespect. And I understand maybe on an individual level where if it's a Hispanic, a Hispanic person that I know on an individual level, that's something completely different. But as a collective level, Hispanic people have not broken down their own racism and white supremacy and disrespect. And they fail to realize that in this system, in the United States of America, you guys, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, I don't care how pale your skin is. If you're a Hispanic person, you're closer to a Black person than you are to a white person on this hierarchy. And Asian people are actually higher up on the hierarchy than you guys are. So if Black people don't want to be in solidarity and don't want to help, I don't feel like we should not be shamed for it. And you guys have no right to misdirect your anger towards us. If a Black woman says, I'm not protecting these kids, if ICE comes, whatever, or if a Black person says, I'm calling ICE, or if a Black person says, oh, well, I'm not going to support, I'm just going to sit back and rest and this, that, and that. Y'all have no right to be angry with us. No right. No right to be angry with us, especially after all the disrespect that not only we take from you guys, but other immigrant groups do it to us too, especially the Asians. And to add insult to injury, for me to find out that Asian people, and I don't know how true this is with the Hispanic people, but I heard that Hispanic people wanted to be classified closer to white than they did back in the day, instead of being in solidarity with Black people for fighting for civil rights and equal rights, which is just insane to me. And it was I wish I kept the video. It was one Hispanic civil rights activist that basically was saying, oh, the black man's struggle or the black struggle is not our struggle, this, that, and third. So they just basically didn't want to have solidarity with us. So please don't ask the black community for shit.
So blatant racism against Indian people is alive and well, in case you need to know, all over the world, because I'm in Thailand right now, and I was in Koh Phi Phi, and I was standing outside the 7-Eleven with 2 guy friends, and this local comes up to me and he's like, where are you from? But like I heard the aggression in his voice, and I was like, fuck, I really don't want to say, and I just kept silent because I could feel his energy was off. And then he was like, oh, I hate all Indian people, you guys are so stupid, like you're the worst, you're stealing my money, da 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 da, like kind of just going off at me. And I was genuinely so shocked, I didn't know what to do. I was just silent, and I just walked away, and I literally left Koh Phi Phi the next day, like lost money in my hostel because it was just such a bad experience. And like I had some other bad experiences too, but like yeah, it kind of just sucks because I feel like how can you feel so comfortable saying that to me? Like, you don't know me, you don't know anything about me, and I try so hard to like be kind to everyone and learn the local languages, and then like for someone to just say that, like it kind of really like hurt my feelings. But I mean, of course, it is what it is.
Koreans are racist, full of plastic, and they don't even speak English. That's what you want to hear, right? Yes, I'm Korean living in Thailand. I love Thailand. I love Southeast Asia. I respect culture, food, language, and the differences. And yet, I get attacked, not for what I did, but simply being Korean. Insults that have nothing to do with who I am as a person. This is not about Korea. This is not about Southeast Asia. This is about where you choose to place your attention. When you focus on growth, kindness, and understanding, your life becomes brighter. But when you constantly feed your mind with the anger and negativity, that's all your reality becomes. I don't live in a victim mindset. I choose to live as a creator. Most people are kind. Most people are respectful. One ignorant person's actions do not define entire people. It's time to stop turning individual mistakes into collective hatreds. Let's stop this and choose the humanity instead.
Go back to the plantation, boy. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, boy? Don't come near me.
Do what you gotta do. I want you to spray
boy.
me. I want you to spray me.
Boy?
Ain't nobody worry about you.
Yeah, take it, boy. Boy?
Okay, so this happened somewhere in Georgia, looks like at a Sonic drive-thru. Now, I'm not sure what sparked this racist outburst. And just real quick, for some of y'all who may not understand why saying the word boy is racist, it is a derogatory word used by racist white people to demean and demoralize black men and rob them of their manhood and respect. So yes, her calling him boy over and over again is a racist term because he is black. And then she also said go to the plantation or go back to the plantation. That is obviously racist. I don't know what got into her to say these things to this person. I'm sorry guys, and I know some of y'all don't want to see it, don't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it. This administration has made people so bold in their racism. It is honestly pretty insane. There's also something I noticed on her license plate. It looks like that she has a Navy insignia on the license plate, which makes me sick because, as some of y'all know, I was in the military. I was in the Navy. And this is not a good representation of the United States military. We need to spread more love, and if you agree with that, follow me and maybe we can show this racist lady how to share love together.
What is your unpopular opinion about Korea?
Koreans are the black people of Asia.
What do you mean by that?
Black people are traditionally considered the trend makers. They're considered people that are valuable in entertainment, but they are not considered high-class individuals.
Oh, first part was so great compliment, and wait a minute.
Koreans are commonly known as very attractive, very talented, very good music makers, but they are often considered not major, like, classy people. They're often not considered to be part of the upper echelon of East Asians amongst other Asians. Similar to how black people are in America.
Who's more elegant than Korean people then?
Often, Koreans are on, for lack of a better word, discriminated against between Chinese and Japanese because of
okay.
history and military oppression. Also, Koreans have a history of slavery, which a lot of other East Asians do not have.
Oh, you meant like that?
Yeah.
I thought you meant like Korean people are not classy.
Oh God, no! I've been here for 5 years. I'm talking about how society in East Asia views them.
We have a nigga problem in the black community.
Let's talk about niggas, because we're all tired of them. Niggas is not a way to describe someone and how they look and their skin tone. It is a way to describe a certain type of behavior that is coming from a certain group of people. Everybody in the country is tired of the nigga behavior, and they're tired of having to walk on eggshells in their own country and act like, oh, but little nigga gonna feel some type of way about me saying this or me doing this or me just being myself, me being proud and white. Gotta worry about what the little niggas say. Honestly, it's getting old and nobody cares about what niggas think. Niggas are causing too much trouble in this country for everyone to even have an opinion. We are tired of the nigga behavior. White people, Hispanic people, Asians, we're all tired of it. And we're going to keep talking about it until we see a difference in the behavior. We're tired of walking on eggshells because of how niggas feel when niggas cause the most freaking drama, the most crime, the most static in this country out of everybody. And quite frankly, no one wants to be around niggas. Niggas make everything not fun. And niggas like ruin everything. Like as soon as niggas come, you're like, oh, niggas here. Like, damn. You know, so nobody wants to be around niggas. And quite frankly, good black people do not want to be associated with niggas. This is why I probably get attacked so much, because I'm always lumping good black people with niggas. And they're like, no, I don't indulge in nigga behavior.
I know I don't understand your experience.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I have never had to live it.
Come on now.
I can sympathize.
Yes.
And I can recognize when things are wrong.
We're sisters and brothers here. Talk.
For instance, if a black man or woman should never be afraid for their life for getting pulled over for speeding.
Come on now. Come on.
But I have never lived in that fear.
Come on now. Come on.
No black man or woman should ever be reluctant to walk outside for fear of racial profiling.
Tell it, sister. Tell it.
But I have never been racially profiled.
That's right. Come on now.
No black man or woman should ever expect to go to jail in their lifetime because of the color of their skin.
Come on now.
But I have never lived in that expectancy.
That's good.
And this is why I don't believe in the phrase, I don't see color.
That's right.
One, to say you don't see color is a lie. We're different. We can all see that. But two, and way more importantly, to deny the differences in our skin is to deny the differences in our privilege.
Come on. Yeah.
I'm going to say that again because I think it's worth repeating. To deny the differences in our skin is to deny the differences in our privilege.
Yeah.
And that leads me to my next point. To deny the differences in our color is to promote ignorance. Ignorance is the reason that systemic racism and oppression is allowed to exist in this country.
That's good.
So why am I here? Why am I up here speaking?
Come on now. Tell them, sister.
I'm going to talk on about three things. One of those is change, the other is ignorance, and one is discomfort. I'll get there.
Go ahead. Take your time.
Broadly speaking, why am I here? Because I want change. But let me speak on that for a second. Because I think a lot of people want change. I think a lot of people say they want change, but let me clarify. I think a lot of white people think they want change.
Come on.
But here's the thing about that. In order for there to be a true and genuine change, for you, for the black community, for people of color, there has to be an equal and requited amount of change for white privilege.
That's right.
And that is something that white people don't want to think about. They don't want to admit that. White people don't want to acknowledge the head start we have in life just for being born this color. You know what? That is willful ignorance.
Put it on front line.
Willful ignorance is what allows oppression to continue in this country.
Together we stand. That's it.
So I'm going to talk on ignorance for a second. I think one of the biggest things that allows ignorance to continue is our education system.
There it is, baby.
Yes, ma'am. our education system.
Yes, ma'am.
And what I mean by that is our education is a white man's education.
It is.
It is a white man's history.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell it.
Why does that matter? Again, like I said, I can recognize when something is wrong. And that is wrong. Why? Because when you tell that history, the history that excludes black history and black culture and the black experience, you allow white people to think that nothing is wrong. And when that happens, you allow white people to think, well, it was bad back then, but it's not bad now. Hell no.
That's right.
It's bad now. In fact, some might say it's worse because this is systemic oppression.
That's right.
This is institutional oppression. This is oppression that is not overt, but it is just as powerful, and we are able to hide it.
God Almighty.
And I have more to say. If you want to hear all of it, please come out Saturday.
We'll be there.
Thank you. We appreciate it. But just know the reason I'm here is because I stand by you. I support you. I love each and every one of you out here. We are brothers and sisters to the day we die.
Yep.
And this is not my time to have my voice heard, but I will use my voice for you. I promise.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Latinos have never needed Black Americans to force their racial biases on us. We have our own. We have been anti-Black all by ourselves. Latinos have been colorists all by themselves. Latinos have been racist all by themselves, way before they come to America, way before they ever have contact with Black Americans. You know what the difference is? Normalized forms of racism, colorism, and anti-Blackness. What's normal amongst people in our culture, what's hush-hush, what's swept under the rug or not dealt with or just accepted, doesn't fly with Black Americans. And you just don't like the fact that a Black American will call you out on it. Because it's not normal. And it shouldn't be accepted. And it shouldn't be okay. So when you have people in your own community letting you know that they've been hurt or traumatized or discriminated by people in our own community, family members even, you need to listen. You need to listen instead of deflecting, because this comment right here is a total and complete cop-out. It's straight up deflection, and it is a bold-faced lie. Our racial biases, they start back home. They start in our own countries, in our own islands. We just bring it here with us. You just don't like the boldness of how Black Americans deal with racism. Normalized anti-Blackness is not a value. Normalized colorism is not a value. Sweeping things under the rug and not talking about them, that's not a cultural value. It's not. Yet it's something that you seek to covet and put above Black Americans. You need to stop pitting Latinos against Black Americans and recognize that the root cause of all of the issues we have across all of our communities is white supremacy. Recognize how white supremacy has operated in your own life and how it has afforded you white privilege as a white presenting Latino and given you a life experience that more Black presenting Latinos cannot identify with. And stop propagating the lie and the myth that we don't care about race and there's no racism amongst us, because if that were the case, we would not be having this discussion.
The population in South Africa is 90% Black, but Black people in South Africa only own 4% of privately owned land in the entire country. But somehow Trump is convinced that these 59 white South African refugees deserve to be housed and fed on the taxpayer dollar in the United States because they were being discriminated against in their home country. It makes me so fucking sick to see that in the same week that a 16-year-old girl had her face slammed into the concrete by ICE because she was brought here as a minor into the United States by her parents, that our taxpayer dollars are simultaneously being spent on an expedited refugee process for white people in South Africa, where they only make up 10% of the population, but they own 96% of the fucking land. Are you kidding me? And their justification is that they believe that white people are being genocided in South Africa. So all of a sudden they have a problem with genocide. Meanwhile, the United States is literally funding a genocide in the West Bank. And for the record, that's not even happening in South Africa. It's been disproven and debunked multiple times, and it's just Elon Musk spreading right-wing bullshit, white supremacist bullshit, as usual. That's all this is. It's just white supremacist bullshit all over again. I'm so tired.
So I want to say that this entire video is facts. I also live in Daegu, South Korea, and I remember back before even COVID, how hard it was as a foreigner to get into some clubs. There were even clubs where you need a Korean guardian to sign a waiver for you if you're a foreigner. I had a friend who was denied who was even Korean American. I've had friends who were denied who spoke fluent Korean. So let's stop pretending that this is a language barrier and call it what it is: xenophobia and racism. Because they love to play our music, but they don't love us.
If you've had the privilege of not experiencing racism in this country, respectfully, do not contribute to this conversation unless you are contributing as an ally, unless you are contributing to bring solution, unless you are contributing to be educated, to want to be more aware so we can do better. Because I'm just not accepting people trying to silence, minimize, or lessen our lived experiences as people of color in Australia. Our lived experiences, the things we grew up with. This is my lived experience. Don't tell me that I can't feel how I feel about it. Don't tell me that I can't make light of it in the way that I want to, because, hey, humor is a beautiful way to work through really serious things. But the skeleton, the bone of this is that there were real issues growing up in Australia as a black woman. Real things I struggled with. You know? Like the immense racism that I endured through my primary and like just schooling experience in general had mass impacts upon my self-esteem, upon my self-worth, upon how I viewed myself. Okay? And I've had a couple of people trying to come in my comment sections and minimize my story and tell me that I can't feel. Yes, I can. Because here's the thing. It's this discomfort, once again. You're uncomfortable with the topic of racism, so you minimize it or you try to silence it. No, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna actually just talk about it. And if I choose to make light of it for the sake of me and the people that have been through it, laughing through it, we will. But you know, we're gonna also have those serious conversations about the immense racism in schools. It was a real experience. I've lived here for 20 years, and I can say I experienced plenty of racism growing up in Australia. Black women are already excluded from so many conversations, from so many spaces. So even now on the topic of racism, you want to try silence this conversation or try to say we shouldn't feel how we feel and, oh, you're being dramatic. No more minimizing. Our lived experience matters too. And here's my perspective. Australia is a country, a beautiful country at that prides itself of multiculturalism and being progressive in that area, and being progressive in making sure that we have diversity. And hey, let's put diverse people at the forefront of that conversation. How do they feel? Because we can implement many things to be multicultural. But if the people that are living here who come from other countries and people of color have experiences that haven't been validated, or they feel like they don't belong in certain spaces, like, hey, we need to have these conversations. They're necessary to build the progressive, diverse society that we want to build. And not a diverse society by looks. A diverse society by true nature, that the heart of it is that we are multicultural and we love every culture and we are not racist. That is not the case right now. All right? These lived experiences of so many people that went to like predominantly white schools as colored people, they're just so dismissed. Like, and they're not named for what it is. It was racism that a lot of young people went through, from how they were talked about their skin color, again, to the microaggressions, the stereotyping. Like, let's not even get to the stereotyping. The stereotyping. Immediately being boxed into a category because of color, then being treated otherwise. These conversations are necessary, and this is a message to anyone that attempts to try to minimize, silence, dismiss. I'm not doing that. You will be uncomfortable. You should feel uncomfortable, because it is not okay that Black kids, that kids of color had to experience what they experience in these schools, and things do need to change. There isn't enough education, unfortunately, about microaggressions, about that in workplaces, about that in schools. There isn't enough education about the impact of stereotyping, how Black kids go home at the end of the day, how they feel. Exclusion from the majority white crowd. This is a conversation that will be had. And if you are offended, if you're bothered, if you're uncomfortable, you either sit with it or you scroll. And for the ethnic kids, guys, gather here, because this year we will be talking all about it. We're going to unpack our trauma and heal. And we're finally going to be allowed to talk about experience without being told to be quiet. I'm sorry. Next, for those that are in the, like, just observing from ally point, you know what I mean? I appreciate you. So much love. Thank you. Yeah. Goodbye.
Anytime you argue with a racist person, the first thing they say is go back to Africa, go back to your country. And you know what? That's low-key a great idea. I feel like all Black people should just go back to Africa. We could turn that bitch to the new Wakanda. You feel me? Like, imagine if we just had all Black people living in Africa. We'd have to cut out all the gang culture, though. I know it's already gang culture in Africa, but we'd have to cut all that shit out. Like, imagine all the Black minds working together in Africa, in our own country. So yeah, racist people, y'all were right with that shit. Let's go back to Africa. Fuck y'all. Don't blame me. It's science.